Hey everybody, hi, good morning. My name is Darius Anucauskas and I'm the global market analyst here at Markets.com. Look, I just wanted to quickly share with you this little quick video preview basically of what's going to happen in this session. We're going to talk markets, we're going to talk about the RBNZ interest rate decision, we're going to talk about the UK inflation numbers. So look, a lot of things happening, and I think that there will be a lot of things apart from the economic ones. There are some political things happening. So hey, look, stick around. Hopefully you'll enjoy the session, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, okay. Hello and good morning, everybody. Hi, this is me, Darius Anucauskas from Markets.com. So look, I just wanted to quickly share with you something very quickly here, and look. Okay, just stalled there a little bit. Sorry, I was reading something else here very quickly. But look, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody. Hi, my name is Darius Anucauskas and I'm from Markets.com. So yes, this is going to be a quick session. Oh, well, at least we'll try to have a quick session on what's happening right now in the markets. And look, feel free to ask questions if you wish, honestly. I think the most important is to have like this more an interactive session. So if whoever's joining in right now live, please feel free to ask questions. Honestly, I'm more than happy to answer those, and we'll go from there, of course. But before we jump into all the action in the markets, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'm just going to finish off a few things here and there while you're reading, and then, yeah, we can continue. Hey, everybody. Hi, good morning. My name is Darius Anucauskas, and I'm the global market analyst here at Markets.com. Look, I just wanted to... All right, okay, just had to double check some sounds here if everything's running okay and smoothly. So hey, yeah, everything seems to be fine. Look, we have ourselves quite an interesting day on our hands right now. So before I actually jump into everything, just a quick mentioning of our Markets.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. So look, the day is full of action in my opinion. We're midweek, and we had already quite a busy start of this week. I mean, not to mention from the economic side and the political side. I mean, this world is boiling with new things, and it seems like right now that we are really not short of content in terms of what to talk about every week. So look, what can I say? First of all, I want to pick up on the economic calendar. Now, this morning, look, we got some data already, and the most important for me, one of the most important for me was the trade balance from Japan. And look at this. This has been quite a drop. Now we have a huge increase in, not to mention of exports, Japanese exports, but also which went from, by the way, which went from 2.8 to 7.2%. But also at the same time, we have a huge increase of imports. Look at this. I mean, that's what brought the deficit here to this bigger part, to the downside. I mean, this is just not something that the BOE, the government would like to see here. Certainly, there are issues with the whole tariffs and everything. Of course, there's nothing much in place on Japan apart from the steel and aluminum. However, that's still in progress. I mean, that's not like finalized, those tariffs, but in general, look at this. I mean, at this point, I mean, we're seeing a huge a huge increase in imports in Japan. So okay, look, for now I think that I think maybe there's some worries that there could be some issues with between Japan and the US, and that's where we're seeing a little bit of an increase there. So let me just double check some information on my side here. So yes, I mean, so we can see that imports grew. Yes, purchases surged 16.7%. Accelerating growth and easily exceeding forecasts. I'm reading very quickly through the information here. Yeah, so basically there I don't see any like specifics in terms of where what exactly was imported, but in general we have to understand that this is in a way not very good for the economy. However, it's not critical. I wouldn't say that it's critical. If this continues like this and at the same pace going into the next month and then the month after, okay, now that's where I will see a little bit of a concern. However, the one-off, it's still okay, and that's why maybe we're not seeing like huge issues here in the Japanese Nikkei. It's still stuck. I mean, for me, the issue is that it's still stuck above this upside line and below this 40,000 kind of 300 area, this highlighted zone here. So in a way, we're kind of forming something of an ascending triangle pattern. But again, as I said multiple times already, that look, even if it is an ascending triangle, and even if it is according to all the TA rules that is going to, let's say, break out to the upside, this is not, this is not kind of guaranteed. And that's why you wait for that clearance first before, let's say, getting excited with the upside. However, I've seen this happening in the opposite direction as well. I've seen this working out low to the downside when an ascending triangle broke out to the downside. So either way, as you can see from what I'm saying, either way, we need to wait for a clearance. So while we stay in this territory, I'm just observing the price action and not really doing much. Australia. So look, Australia, ASX 200. So basically on Tuesday, we got the RBA interest rate decision. I'll get to RBNZ in a bit, but we got the RBA interest rate decision, and that one, yeah, they came out with the first cut since 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And okay, in a way, we could say that this should have played out positively for the stock market. However, I think the positivity of that is just kind of, this is something that was already expected, so the positivity was not there. I think that the market is more interested in what's gonna happen with in general with the world and the trade wars, right? So I think that this is what's worrying ASX 200 traders right now, and we're seeing this nice correction back down. That's why I said to you on Monday that for me to get comfortable with the upside, I would need to see a push above that 8,630 zone-ish. That's near the current all-time high. If we can get that move, amazing. I will get a little bit more excited with the upside. For the downside, what I would like to see here is a drop below the 8,373 territory, somewhere around here. But again, what I said to you before, that look, if we do slowly drop below the 50-day EMA, my next target is the 100-day EMA. Then I'll target this upside line taken from the low, the 5th of August, and then we'll go from there. If we do clear the 100-day EMA, then my next target is the 200-day EMA, and so on. So long story short, for now, I would say I wouldn't say I'm cautiously bearish, or even let's say I'm cautiously bullish. No, that's not the case, because at the moment I'm just actually flat, and I'm really trying to understand what's going to happen here next, because at the moment it seems like it wants to go lower, but certain other indices like the US ones or the European ones are showing strength, and that's where like a little bit, and Japan, for example, is not showing anything. ASX 200 seems to be like willing to go lower, but it kind of, it's really difficult to justify that. So yeah, it's at the moment, like I said, it's uncertain. And looking at this picture here, for example, on the MACD, we can see that there is a first kind of signal for some downside. Well, okay, look, if this is going to play out, wonderful. Yes, that's great. I will consider further declines. But again, we have seen this, like maybe this is just a little temporary correction before another possible leg of buying, like we had somewhere here, for example, back in the beginning of September, where we did also drop. It seemed like, oh my God, that's it, roll over. We have ourselves a double top, but then look at this, it rallied. So that's what I'm saying. So don't rush into things yet. Let's say keep your eyes on this, and we'll go from there. Oh, by the way, keep on forgetting. Good morning in the chat room, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and this whoever's tuning in right now. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful start of Wednesday. So let's have a look at China. What's happening here? Of course, tech. Tech is the thing that is currently driving everything. And okay, everybody's talking about DeepSeek. Like how it's wonderful and everything, and I think the tech right now is a little bit on the shaky side, because again, not everything is confirmed yet, because not everything is that as clear as it was before. Now people are, let's say, we're seeing companies investing, or especially Western companies investing a lot into AI and pouring billions into it. However, I think that's the only thing. I think that's the only thing that's kind of keeping it afloat at the moment, because we had those hypes of AI already. We had those moves to the upside. So now we're kind of waiting for the next, I would say maybe even a big breakthrough or something like that. But at the moment, yeah, we're not really getting that. So long story short, for now, China, it seems to be still holding on. And I think that there's this holding on moment, this somewhat positivity is kicking in from Xi Jinping, kind of having this quick little conference summit, or whatever we want to call it, meeting with the top private business leaders in China. Yeah, that's it kind of like I said, it's showing this positivity right now. It's giving that little boost for the stock market. But hey, look, is that going to be enough, or do we need some sort of like extra news or measures coming out? Because look, at the moment I would say this way, that we had this similar movement before. You get this impulse, you get this news coming out, like, oh, the government's going to support the economy and everything, and like boom, we have a shoot up. We have a shoot up on China 50, for example, here. But then we need some sort of like a follow through. It seems like just driven by one event, and then you need some more. You need to feed it. But they release this one piece of information, it shoots up, but then it kind of fades away. So that's what I'm saying. So at the moment, yes, great. The meeting was held with the top business leaders. What's next? Look, I mean, we have the interest rate decision. Let me just double check. That's going to come out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, loan prime rate. So now this is going to be interesting. Now, for me personally, if I would see, let's say, a cut here, even a drop to 3% here on the 1 year rate, that would be maybe enough, let's say, for to get that stimulus in order to see China 50 jumping higher. So long story short, tomorrow we're having that number. We're having the 1 year and the 5 year loan prime rates coming out. So keep your eyes on those. If we by any chance see some changes in there, I mean, to the downside, maybe this could be helpful. So let's keep an eye on this. Again, this is quite interesting. I think at the moment, from purely the technical perspective, certainly we're above all my EMAs here on the daily chart. So it kind of, in a way, is leading towards some positivity. However, if it starts falling below the EMAs, then look, maybe we could start shifting our attention to the downside. But as I said before, my downside scenario here on the China 50 would be on a drop below the 200-day EMA. But not only a drop, I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying below the 200-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. Let's jump into the US. US is waiting. it is waiting for something, like especially the Dow. The Dow is stuck here, and basically we're kind of moving sideways a little bit. I would say we're struggling with that current all-time high, which is roughly around that 45,000 and kind of 75 zone. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I need a clearance of that barrier in order to get comfortable with the upside. At the moment, I might class it as a little range. And but again, that range is between the 43,800 zone, somewhere around here, and this, like I said, 45,075 area. So if we do clear the lower side of this little range, I will consider a move lower. But again, I will consider a little bit of a retracement of some sort, a retracement to the downside, because again, I will class it as a little correction even to the downside, a little correction before another possible leg of buying, because we have this upside line taken from the low of the 27th of October, and then we'll go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, for now, on the Dow, if you're trading this one, just be careful. For now, it's like I said, it is stuck. US 500, so the S&P 500. So we created a new all-time high yesterday, and today with the cash index here, you can see it's trying to get back here to the upside. Look, I think at this point I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm leaning towards the upside as long as we stay above the 6,126 territory, somewhere around here. If we stay above it, yep, I'm gonna lean towards the upside. Which levels am I gonna aim for? Well, because we're in uncharted territory, I will aim for something like 6,000, kind of 150, or 200. Those nice, beautiful numbers. I think that this would be the most logical, because again, we can apply the Fibonacci extension. Let's for the sake of it, let's do that, but again, from where do you apply that? Are you going to apply it from here, from the lowest point of January to the highest point of January, and then to the current lowest point of February? If so, then okay, maybe this 6,188 becomes like quite an interesting level, because that's the 78.6. So we can do that for sure, because we're currently just balancing around that 61.8% on the Fibonacci extension. Yeah, like I said, this could be that next good target. If you're satisfied with this, with such an analysis, then okay, feel free. You can do whatever you want in this one. But again, don't forget that we are having a few pieces of information coming out this week, especially today we're getting the building permits, right, and housing starts. That's fine, interesting. But tomorrow we're going to get the initial and continuous jobless claims, and of course the Philly Fed manufacturing index as well. So that's expected to come out on the lower side. Well, maybe that could, if that's the case, if it comes out somewhere around there, maybe we'll see a little bit of a decline here. But then Friday, it's kind of really on the cautious side, I would say. Existing home sales, not something that you're, let's say, you're something that, let's say, is crazy driving the market, but maybe given because of the absence of other news, maybe that could give us a little bit of an interesting moment here. So at the moment, I don't see any expectations here for the month-on-month figure, so we'll wait for that one maybe on the day. So yes, let's just clear the economic calendar here, get back all the countries. So right, okay, look, so that's in terms of the US. Okay, NASDAQ, technology, yep, we created a new all-time high. So everything is kind of working out nicely. I talked about this a while ago, if you remember, especially in January. I said to you, look, let's see if we can actually go for a new all-time high on this one, and we did. We cleared this downside line. I said that if we do clear this downside line, my next target is the 22,132 tick. And now the question is, where are we going to go next? Again, the same story with the Fibonacci, but on this one, it becomes a little bit more difficult to draw it, because maybe you want to draw it from here to here to here, but then why not from here to here? So that's why I'm not on this one. I'm not going to apply the Fibonacci. I'm just going to the Fibonacci extension. I'm just going to take it slow, take it easy, and I'm just going to keep my eyes on this little hurdle here. Let me just adjust this very quickly. Just a second. So, right, okay, this is just let me just drop the coloring here to the level that I want it to be. Yes, so okay. So, right, this is what I'm looking at here. So, like I said, this is my the barrier here that I'm watching. So, hey, if we can get a nice clearance of that one, sorry, we already got the clearance. If we can stay above that area, if you can see the body of the daily candle staying above that area, then great. I'll go further north. Dollar index, let's have a look at this one. Like, okay, so as I said to you before also that with the dollar index, we are holding, we're holding above the 100-day EMA. We're not pushing higher. We're not traveling back above the 50-day EMA in order to get a little bit more bullish, but no, we're just sitting below the 100-day EMA. Sorry, above the 100-day EMA, and it seems like we want to maybe drop below it. Okay, this is just a, like I said, this is just an idea. So if we do get that move, if we do drop below the 100-day EMA, which so far is acting as a nice area of support, if we can get that nice clearance, amazing. My next target is the 200-day EMA. Let's jump into Germany DAX. Look at this. This animal, I mean, is unstoppable. I'm looking at the cash index right now. I'm not looking at the futures because the futures is already getting closer to that 23,000 zone. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, this is just spectacular. And I'm looking at the cash, and I mean, I talked about it. I talked a lot about DAX, and at the moment, DAX is kind of living in this world where, you know, they don't know what's going to happen with Ukraine in general, because again, with, you know, what's happening in there, there's going to be peace, there's not going to be peace, or on the contrary, are we now going to be, like, you know, expanding military? And most likely yes. And are there going to be troops sent out? So a lot of uncertainties, and not to mention, apart from that, not to mention the the German elections that are coming out this upcoming weekend, and that's going to be quite interesting as well. So because there are like everything is in there is on shaky grounds, and the moment, yes, okay, we're seeing some nice movement to the upside, and I think that this is more of a panic moment, I would say. I mean, I think that I wouldn't say that there's a lot of positivity, no, but it seems like, you know, let's buy it now because it's going to fall hard. I mean, look, this one has been up. Oh boy, let me just grab this one. So from, wait, actually I do have one. This one has been up from the beginning of this year, and if we take it up all the way right now, 15% already. Sometimes you do that in a year, but hey, this one's rallying right now. It is flying to the moon. The question is, like I said, now even sometimes the question is 23,000 even the floor, you know, the ceiling? Again, who knows? But at this point, look, I mean, this is very tricky. I would say don't rush. It is very tempting to start shorting this one, but I would say just be careful. Don't rush into things. But yeah, like I said, eventually, I mean, at the moment, I'm trying to figure out where the hell this ceiling will be. At the moment, I'm just on the cash index specifically. I'm aiming for that 23,000 zone, and then we'll go from there. Very quickly on UK, the FTSE 100. So we got the inflation numbers from UK, and those came out on the higher side. Right, okay, so, you know, look at this core year-on-year inflation, 3.7, as expected, you know, from the 3.2. The headline inflation at 3%. The expectation was only for 2.8. It was already on the higher side. No, it came out 3. Boom. So yeah, I mean, look, I'll jump into the pound in a bit, but for now, looking at the FTSE here, it is just, yeah, I mean, it's stuck as well. I mean, I need to see that clearance of the 8,837 territory. If I can get that move, amazing, I'll go for some higher levels. For the downside, what I would like to see here is a drop below this 8,700 zone. And because at the same time we could maybe get that break of this little short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 14th of January. So let's jump into the forex world, ladies and gentlemen. AUDUSD, so far so good, still holding on here, still holding above that 0.6330 zone here. Yep, okay, that's absolutely fine. So look, so I think that it's all working out nicely, because what I talked about previously, that if we do remain above the 50-day EMA and we clear that 0.6330 zone, my next target is the 100-day EMA. Are we going there? It seems like yes. We're not there yet, of course, but We're not far. We had a good little retracement yesterday, held nicely above the 0.6330. There's a breakout area. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of leaning towards those, slightly higher levels. Let's wait and see. NZDUSD. So, of course, what can I say? The little rising channel here so far is working out. We got the RBNZ interest rate decision, and let's have a look at that one. So earlier on today, they decided to go and cut the by 50 basis points. Right, that's absolutely fine. It's all okay. If that's what you want to do, that's great. Let's do it. But in a way, look, I think the bank is still kind of in that mode where they still want to go and do cuts. Because their inflation number still allows to do that, because what's their let's just double check very quickly that their inflation number, yes, inflation is 2.2, so very close to inflation target there, the RBNZ inflation target. So great, 2.2%, wonderful. What can I say? At the moment they can allow themselves to go and cut rates, but as I've mentioned yesterday in one of my videos on YouTube, basically like a little short video that you can check out, by the way, if you wish. I mean, it's always there. In general, you can check out a lot of things on our YouTube channel, and then our trading view as well, because again, we do share a lot of information, and hopefully you can enjoy that. Yeah, I mean, what I said to you yesterday, kind of that RBNZ is kind of New Zealand in general is in that kind of extreme moment. They have either good or very bad, or very bad or very good, so something like that. The moment, yes, inflation is dropping, but if it starts picking up, in my opinion, it's going to start picking up very rapidly in New Zealand, and this is where the bank will have to start considering rate hikes. So as I keep on saying to everybody all the time, and I think that whoever's watching me constantly, they're probably tired of me saying the same thing, but it's better to hike rates from lower numbers rather than from higher numbers. So this is what I think the bank is trying to get to. I think maybe they will even drop it all the way to that 3%. We'll see. For now, of course, the expectation, there is no expectation for the next interest rate decision. That's coming up in April of 9th of April. But for now, what can I say here? That we got the move, we got the little positivity here, actually, unlike we could see this. We are kind of the idea is that if we see a rate cut, then there should be some weakness in the currency. Then, but again, in this case, I think it's more driven because of this fella, which is struggling to move higher. And I think that New Zealand, maybe on the contrary, that market sees that there are things happening, that there are positive things happening in New Zealand, and that's why RBNZ is allowing themselves to go in for those 50 basis point cuts. But I keep on saying all the time, let it settle. At the moment, go with the flow, just what's happening, right? But don't rush into things. Don't really rush into things, because otherwise you might get burnt very quickly. But what can I say right now from the technical perspective? From around the mid-January, we have been kind of moving upwards, and we were kind of moving upwards in this rising channel pattern. So we're currently trading slightly above the 50-day EMA, shown as the green line here. So in a way, my next target is to the upside, but the problem here is the upper side of the rising channel. So what I would like to see here is a clearance of that upper side of the rising channel. Then this way, I mean, we could start aiming for the 100-day EMA and the 200-day EMA. While we remain inside the pattern, I mean, honestly, this could still go, in a way, sideways with a little incline. So keep that in mind. NZDJPY, now this one's an interesting one. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but I just wanted to pick up on this one because, look, we do have some we had some data from Japan, but in general at the moment, NZDJPY is this kind of more of a almost like a risk on, risk off monitor, because we know that AUDJPY is that, but NZDJPY could be done on, like, the second risk on, risk off monitor. But again, one is a one currency is the commodity linked currency, and the other one is more of a risk currency. So where you're hoping to see your whenever times go down, go bad, you see Japanese yen picking up pace. Well, I'll get to Japanese yen against the US dollar in a bit, but for now, NZDJPY, although this looks like a nice little bullish flag here, still we remain below all my EMAs on a daily chart. So without even putting any lines here, you can see that we still remain below the EMAs, and in a way that could still lead to some lower levels. However, for me to get comfortable with, let's say, the downside here, a drop below this 85 zone would be required. If I can get that move, amazing, I'll go to the downside. Let's have a look at what's happening with the USDJPY here. So look, as I said to you, that USDJPY, Japanese yen seems to be picking up interest right now, although data is not really maybe supporting the strength of the Japanese yen. However, I think the fact that the US dollar is right now on the weaker side, and there is a little bit of uncertainty in the global markets, what's going to happen next, because in general, indices are near their all-time highs. We saw DAX, it's already like flying to the moon, and that's why where people are starting to, how long can this, last? Because again, we have been rallying for quite a while now. And this is where, like, the markets are good in a way. There is development happening, but how can I say? But at the moment, it's still very tricky. So that's why I'm not rushing into things. Looking at USDJPY, this is a battle of the safe havens, and I think at this point, I'm wondering which one is going to outpull which. And given that the Japanese yen becomes the more interesting one during the market turnaround to the downside, then yes, I'm leaning towards the fact that there could be some more downside to come on this one. However, I need that clearance below this 151 territory somewhere here, and then we'll go from there. USDCAD very quickly. Okay, look, we got where's that economic calendar? So yesterday, I wanted to share with you quickly Canadian inflation. Yesterday, we got the Canadian inflation year on year 2.1, higher than the previous. Inflation year, the headline one, 1.9, higher than the previous. Well, also not kind of very good. And look, this number started picking up pace, I would say. Initially it was on the around 2, but then it's now kind of flat. It kind of is around 2. And they're oscillating around that 2% mark. And what can I say here? USD CAD, it seems like it's totally doing what what DXY is doing, but although I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside, I would like to see a clearance of the 100-day EMA first, and then I would go lower. At this point, I'm just observing the price action, and I'm not really getting very comfortable, with if any of the sides. Because for the upside, well, previously I talked about this 1.4440 kind of 7 zone, but I think that we might even start shifting our attention to the upside if we do clear the 50-day EMA right there. If we can clear that, amazing. More buyers here could join in. US dollar against the Swiss franc. Let's have a look at this one. Pushing back up. We are getting nicely to the upside, but again, is this making us very bullish? No, not really, because again, this is just a little bit of a mess, I would say here, and I would like to maybe wait for another drop again below the 50-day EMA to at least start looking at some lower levels. But at this point, I'm not really getting very excited with anything here, because for me the upside scenario is pretty straightforward. It's from this breakout of this downside line taken from the highest point of October of 2023. For the downside, yes, a drop below the 50-day EMA could kind of initially indicate a possibility for for a move lower, but I would say this way, that for now it's still it might end up oscillating around that 50-day EMA, and this is not good as well. So maybe the drop below the 100-day EMA shown as the blue line would be better here on the USD CHF. So we'll have a look, we'll see. Oh, Jindao, hey, good morning. Hey. I can see you there in the chat room. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. So by the way, Jindao is also a very nice analyst. Hey, we'll probably do a show together. I think that will happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. Keep subscribed to Markets.com for the latest news. And like I said, more things to follow, more things to happen. And I think that, like I said, yes, there will be a show between me and him. Well, okay, we'll see. Time will tell, right? Anyway, we should for sure. Look, let's jump into EURUSD very quickly. What's happening here? Okay, we're getting a little retracement. That's absolutely fine. We're getting a little hold up above the 50-day EMA. Fantastic. Are we getting very bullish on this one? Well, personally, me, not really, not yet, because what I want to see here is a push above the 1.05 kind of 33 zone right there. That's the high of the highest point of January of this year, and at the same time it coincides nicely with the 100-day EMA. If we can get that nice clearance, amazing, more buyers could join in. For the downside on this one, look, a drop below the 50-day EMA, I think that could open the door for initial downside, and then we could go from there. EUROJPY looking good here, and we are looking at nicely here for some potential upside maybe, but again, although I'm considering this to be a possible bullish flag, still we are not really getting too comfortable with that idea, because we're seeing a little bit of retracement. Hey, somebody might say, what about this, like maybe we're seeing a nice little inverted head and shoulders pattern here, a small one. It could be the case, but still, either way, I need a clearance of that so-called neckline here, which is still the same area which I'm watching, this 160.30 zone, roughly around there, and then we could go from there. Let's jump into GBPUSD very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Look, because we got the UK CPIs, which came out on the higher side, much higher side, I would say, actually. We are seeing some positivity here right at this point, and I've talked about this recently, and I covered this in one of my videos on YouTube, where I kind of said that, look, guys, I mean, this let me just show you what I am talking about. So basically, this is what I am talking about. So basically, on YouTube, you can check us out. I did the piece yesterday on the UK inflation, and okay, look, I mean, it kind of worked out nicely in my opinion. It's still is working out, but we need some sort of like stronger moves at this point. I think that we're waiting for some sort of a catalyst that could drive the US dollar, and then we could see a reaction, because in a way I was hoping to see some better action to the upside, but I'm not giving up. I think I'm still gonna aim for the upside. I'm gonna aim for that 200-day EMA right here, shown as the white line, which kind of is around the midpoint between my Fibonacci retracement, which is drawn midpoint between the 38.2 and the 50% on the Fibonacci retracement. So basically this here, like I said, this 200-day EMA becomes quite a good potential target. And then if we can clear that one, I'll go for that 50% here on the Fibonacci retracement around 1.2766, something like that zone. And then we'll go from there. GBP, let's have a look at GBPJPY very quickly. Similar story like with the EURUSDs, EUROJPY. It seems like it wants to go higher, but again, a clearance here is needed. Very straightforward. So yeah, I mean, not much to say for now. I mean, we're still kind of at these interesting, not the most exciting levels here, but hey, GBPNZD, because we got the numbers. And apparently there was some sort of like a positive reaction to the cut, maybe because it's like showing some sort of strength, maybe potentially showing that inflation could pick up later on. But yeah, we're seeing GBPNZD drifting back down, where it's kind of moving back below this 1.22 territory, which kind of it tested recently. And look, I need to see a clearance probably of that area, of that 2.22 territory. If we can get that nice push above it, I will go a little bit higher. Not really going way too crazy to the upside, but a little bit higher. Let's jump into commodity world, gold. Oh my God, I mean, this one is just knocking on the door of the current all-time high right now. And look at this. So we did make a little range here, as you can see, which is between 2,882 and this 2,942. So okay, look, what can I say? It is a nice move here to the upside, about, yes, about 60-point difference here. Yes, well, let's see if we can get a nice clearance of that current all-time high. At the moment, I think that we are, yes, very close to that, but yeah, we've tested that 2,840, but hey, clearance of that, you know, 2,000, this 2,900, the clearance of that 2,942 zone is required, is needed. So at the moment, I'm just observing the price action, and I'm cautiously leaning towards the upside, but I'm not gonna get way too excited yet until I get that clearance, and then we'll go from there. So let's have a look. Let's have a look what's happening here in silver very quickly. So silver, there we go, popped. I recently released a piece on silver here, and basically when we got that false breakout, I said, look, we have not moved back down too much, and that's why maybe, you know, this breakout area is still on the table. So you can check out that analysis on our on our trading view and on our Markets.com trading view channel. Yes, there we go. We're having a beautiful breakout here. So far, so good. So if we continue to trade above this hurdle, I'm leaning towards that 34.85 zone, and then we'll go from there. Very quickly on oil, let's have a look what's happening here. Oil is annoying. Oil keeps on oscillating around this opening price of this year and last year as well. So hey, what can I say? At the moment, it's like this. You know, it's not really something that I'm very excited about. But hey, what can I do? I mean, my job is, you know, to try to analyze this one. And at the moment, I am not touching it at all. I'm waiting for some sort of a catalyst here, which could, you know, drive this one out of this little area, or, you know, because this is really annoying at the moment. Natural gas, quick update. Boom, look at this, boom, explosion to the upside here. I mean, oh my God, this is amazing. And what can I say? So far so good. This is moving towards the current or should I say actually the highest point, yeah, the current highest point of this year, which is around the 4.32 zone. Let's see if we can reach that one. Very quick update on coffee, having a nice little correction back down. There we go. We dropped below this 408 and 9 zone. I said to you that if we do drop and stay below it, my next target is this upside line. So far, let's see if we can stay below this area. If we can stay, then yes, I'm leaning towards a larger correction to the downside. And sugar, there we go, clearance of this downside line and the 200-day EMA. If we continue to trade above that 200-day EMA, I'm leaning towards the upside. Let's jump in. Finally, let's jump into the crypto world, Bitcoin. So we're stuck at the moment with the cryptos. We are stuck. We're not really getting much action. We're just oscillating around the 50-day EMA, and okay, let's, you know, we'll play that game. But still, I need to see a push somewhere above that psychological 100 zone in order to go to the upside. For the downside, a drop below the psychological 90 area is required, and if we can get that move, amazing. More sellers here could join in. Ethereum, very quickly on that one. Again, boring, to be honest. I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to touch this one, because again, at this point, I keep on saying that it's oscillating around this upside line, which is drawn from the low of the 5th of August. So can't really do much. I mean, it's oscillating around it, and you know, it's not really doing a trick. Ripple now, this one's interesting because it found good resistance near this 2.78 zone again, and then declined back down, but we still remain above all the EMAs on my daily chart. especially above this 50-day EMA. So look, as long as we stay above it, yes, there is a good chance for this one to drift back down, but again, a clearance of this 2.78 zone for me is required. For the downside, a drop below the 2.31 area here could be nice. However, I think that we could already start looking at some lower levels if we do start falling below the 50-day EMA. Litecoin, boom, there we go, we got that move. This is what I was talking about. That's why I like Litecoin. Litecoin is very nice and technical, and this is what we got, and this is what I'm happy about. So I talked a lot about this, and then Litecoin, I threw out, where was that piece which I did on Litecoin. I think it was quite a while ago. Ripple here, you know, Canada. I think I need to go back down more and more. No, did I not do a piece on this one? Maybe then I just talked a lot about this one on the in my webinar, right? Yes, I did cover that a lot in my webinar. Okay, look, I mean, next time I'll probably do this one on Litecoin, because this is just working out spectacularly. I'm loving this. Look, I would say it this way, because we're getting that clearance just right now. I want to see this one, the body of the daily candle, staying above that area, above that downside line, in order for me to get comfortable with aiming for the 146.66 zone, or even that psychological 150 zone. Sorry, my mouth was already drying out, so I needed a little bit of tea. So look, that's the situation with Litecoin. Dogecoin, it's stuck still above the 200-day EMA, but stuck below the 100-day EMA, and also still remains below the midpoint of this falling channel, which kind of indicates a little bit more of a bearish indication, a bearish signal. However, for me, as I said before, a drop below the 200-day EMA is required. And finally, Polkadot. This one is, again, stuck. It seems like it wants to go lower, but at the same time it doesn't. 4.43 zone is something that I'm watching here. If we can get a nice drop below it, then yes, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the downside. But again, what we're seeing right now here is if we're seeing a possible reversal. Look, if we start clearing this downside line, which is drawn from the high of the 6th of January, then okay, I'm fine. I'm going to aim for my EMAs, but I need that clearance. I need that clearance, and I need that, you know, kind of a reassurance, I would say. And then we could kind of go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. That is a wrap. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time. So look, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much, everybody, for your views, for your likes, for your comments, everything. Jindal, thank you very much for the comments. I really appreciate that. Look, join me on Friday. Join me on Friday, where we're going to wrap up the week. We're going to see what's happening and how the week has ended, because again, it's full of political events. And it seems for now that the market is not too bothered, but at the same time, I think that it's, the traders are kind of, carefully monitoring the situation, what's happening in the world, and especially what's going to happen with Europe right now, with the conflicts and everything, and how they're going to proceed further, because at the moment, yes, there are concerns. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you, and I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your participation in this. And look, let me know in the comments if you want me to cover something else, or you want me to pick up on something else, and yeah, we can go from there. Let me know if it helps or not, and I'll see you on Friday. Friday, yes, as always. 10 o'clock GMT plus 2 time, or 8 o'clock GMT time. So yes, see you later, and enjoy the rest of your day today. Yeah, bye-bye.